Public cloud emphasizes shared infrastructure, broad availability, and rapid access to new capabilities. You provision services on demand and let the provider handle facilities, hardware, and many operational tasks. This lowers friction for experiments and shortens the time from idea to reality. You gain elasticity because capacity can grow and shrink as needed. You also benefit from a wide marketplace of managed services that reduce undifferentiated work. The flip side is accepting standardized building blocks and living within published limits and policies. Governance becomes configuration rather than hardware control. For many teams, that balance is ideal because it converts complexity into usable services. Private cloud centers on control, customization, and specific boundary requirements. The environment serves one organization, so policies, change windows, and integration patterns can be tailored to local needs. This appeals to teams with strict latency, data residency, or integration requirements that are hard to satisfy elsewhere. Private cloud still uses cloud principles like self-service and automation, but the operating model is closer to traditional ownership. The benefits include predictable performance characteristics and deeper access to underlying platforms. The trade-offs include higher responsibility for maintenance and upgrades. When the priority is bespoke control over shared convenience, private cloud often fits. Hybrid cloud connects environments so workloads can live where they work best and still act like parts of a single system. A hybrid approach might link a data center to a public cloud, or it might bridge multiple providers with a unifying layer. The goal is choice without fragmentation. You can keep sensitive systems close while moving customer-facing parts to more elastic platforms. You can stage migrations gradually instead of making one large leap. Hybrid requires clear identity, networking, and policy patterns, so resources behave consistently. When designed well, it becomes an adaptable backbone for changing business needs. Common public cloud use cases highlight speed and scale. Teams launch a new application without waiting for hardware. Data scientists spin up temporary clusters for analysis and tear them down when done. Global services place content near users to improve experience during peak demand. Startups choose public cloud to avoid upfront costs, while established firms use it to add capacity quickly during seasonal spikes. Public environments also shine for proof-of-concept projects where learning fast is more important than customizing deeply. The theme is agility. Try, measure, and iterate with minimal friction. Private cloud use cases cluster around control-heavy scenarios. Regulated workloads with strict segmentation requirements may remain in private environments where audit evidence is tightly curated. Legacy systems that depend on specific hardware or network topologies often run more predictably on owned infrastructure. Some organizations standardize unique security tooling or change processes that would be difficult to replicate in shared platforms. Others require specialized performance tuning at the hypervisor or storage layer. In each case, the driver is not nostalgia. It is a rational match between constraints and operating model. Private cloud is a choice, not a compromise, when control is the business requirement. Hybrid cloud shines for phased migration strategies. You can start by connecting identity and networking. Then move non-critical services first to learn patterns and reduce risk. Next, you can refactor selected applications to use managed services while keeping databases on premises until dependencies are ready. Over time, traffic can shift gradually using routing rules, while data replication keeps states aligned. This approach spreads change across milestones, allowing teams to build skills and confidence. If a rollback is needed, pathways already exist. Hybrid is the scaffolding that supports safe, incremental modernization. Connectivity patterns and data movement make or break multi-environment designs. Private links and virtual networks create trusted paths so systems communicate without exposing management surfaces to the open internet. Routing must be deliberate to prevent asymmetric paths and inspection blind spots. Data flows deserve special attention. Batch transfers, streaming pipelines, and synchronization schedules each have different failure modes. Good designs minimize unnecessary hops and document which direction data is allowed to travel. Clear patterns reduce surprises during audits and help teams troubleshoot calmly when something slows down or stops moving. Costs, control, and flexibility form the central trade-off triangle. Public cloud often lowers entry costs and speeds delivery, but continuous usage without governance can grow bills quickly. Private cloud can be cost-effective at scale with stable workloads, yet capital planning and lifecycle management remain your job. Hybrid offers flexibility, though complexity introduces operating overhead if patterns are not standardized. The practical approach is to measure not only price, but also the cost of time, risk, and opportunity. A slightly higher invoice may be a bargain if it unlocks a major business outcome faster. Security posture varies by model, but the core disciplines stay the same. In public cloud, identity and configuration are the front lines because the provider manages most of the physical and platform layers. In private cloud, boundary defenses and platform patching remain your responsibility, so processes must be reliable and well-practiced. Hybrid requires harmonized controls, so logs, policies, and response playbooks cover every segment. Regardless of model, least privilege, encryption, monitoring, and tested response plans are non-negotiable. Security is a practice, not a place, and it follows your decisions more than your data center walls. Governance implications flow directly from deployment choice. Public cloud governance leans on policy, tagging, and role design to steer behavior at scale. Private cloud governance emphasizes change management, capacity planning, and platform hygiene. Hybrid governance coordinates both: shared naming, consistent environments, and a single source of truth for ownership and exceptions. The test of good governance is simple. Can someone new find who owns a resource, see what rules apply, and understand how changes are made safely? If yes, your model supports growth rather than resisting it. Avoiding vendor lock-in starts with clear interfaces and portable habits. Write to open standards where practical, separate application logic from infrastructure glue, and capture configuration as code so environments can be rebuilt elsewhere. Prefer managed services when they offer clear value, but design exits for the few components that would be hardest to move. Keep data formats transparent and backups independent. Lock-in is not a switch, it is a spectrum. The goal is not to avoid commitment entirely, but to avoid accidental dependency that limits future choices. Decision tips for real scenarios focus on fit. If a team needs speed and global reach, public cloud is a strong first step. If a workload demands specialized hardware control or strict isolation, private cloud may be safer. If a portfolio spans both extremes, choose hybrid and write down the patterns before building. Start with the smallest change that teaches the most. Measure outcomes, not just configurations. Rerun the decision as needs evolve, because a good answer today might be different next quarter when constraints shift. Choosing confidently means matching the model to the moment and staying open to change. You now have a clear view of public, private, and hybrid approaches, their strengths, and the trade-offs that come with each. No single model wins every scenario, and that is the point. The best choice is the one that advances your goals while keeping future options open. With this vocabulary and these patterns in hand, you can explain decisions clearly, guide teams calmly, and adjust course as your environment grows. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.